I'm Sam Ramlu. My role at Method is Managing Director, and I co-founded the company about 18 years ago now. For me, I think the diversity thing's been really interesting and potentially something that I haven't actually wanted to highlight. Being a female person of colour, it's almost something that you want people to ignore. So for me, it's really weird kind of bringing it to the forefront, but I feel like I have a responsibility now, and it sounds really heavy, but I feel like if I don't do it, who else will? And there's moments I kind of go, look, this is not really what I want to do, in terms of I don't want to put myself out there, I just want to do great work. But imagine if there were people who could see me, younger people or not, and just see me in the position I'm in and strive for that as well. So that kind of gives me the sense of sort of moral obligation to do that. It's something that's not necessarily apparent as a female founder or as a person of colour, because you don't see what you don't see. You don't get exposed to that. So I don't necessarily know what I'm missing out on, because I never get those opportunities. So my partner, who's the other co-founder, is male, and I guess the only way I've kind of seen things is he's literally told me, some of the experiences that he's had or the opportunities he's had offered to him. I've felt uncomfortable going to certain networking events, or I've felt slightly uncomfortable being part of certain conversations, that stem from a more male-dominated space. And I guess that's the thing, is I hear from other people and then go, oh, well, that's really interesting. I didn't even see that or got that opportunity or had that chat. I think there's always room for more. I think flat answer, no. But I think a lot of people are doing some great things to make that happen, and that's been part of women having a space in here and being included. And I think the more we include them, the more we'll see of that. And I do feel like there's an element of still ticking boxes a little bit, and I want that to be a lot more like that. It's not even a second thought, that person was the best person for the role, and that's why it's happening, rather than, oh, we should go down this track. It's a way to be, rather than just sort of tokenism. We've tried to grow a very family feel in our space, and I know a lot of people say that, and I also know that there's a little bit of negativity associated with that these days, in terms of actually this is just work. I have a slightly different view in that if you're spending, a third of your time at work, you want to make sure that you're in a space that you can feel comfortable and safe, and the people around you are people that you can get along with and actually play with as well, potentially, as well as work. And so for me, I feel like you want to be in a nurturing, kind environment. And we very much have that at our space. And I just love seeing our team come together through COVID and just nurture and, just cheer each other on. I feel like they should be your biggest advocates, like your family is, but also the people who can kind of go, look, we're going to critique you, but at the end of the day, we're also going to stand up for you and be your biggest cheerleaders. There's been a lot of natural diversity inclusion in, how we hire, the people we work with. I guess the thing is we kind of just are trying to be as naturally inclusive as possible, and at the same time making sure that we've got the right skills on board, and diversity of viewpoints as well, because we essentially create experiences that engage with people, all sorts of people. And so for us, it's about who can we get on board that can make sure that we can appeal to kids for this thing. And then, so making sure that people have diversity of thought and not necessarily just diverse for the sake of it. In terms of diversity and inclusion, I guess it goes beyond our team as well in our studio. We also ensure that comes through in the work that we do. So, with recent clients that we've been working with, we want to make sure that viewpoint's brought across. So bringing the right people on board, if we're talking to a Māori or Pacific audience, getting the right people on board right from the beginning and understanding that we don't necessarily have all those answers or the right people for some of that. And so framing that up right from the beginning, going, come on board, help collaborate with us on the story and journey. And so I think that's really important as well, is I think typically in our space as studios and creative agencies, we've kind of gone, we can create all those answers for you. We're the people to trust and do that. But we very much work in a collaborative sense and with our client and the wider audience to go, well, you're the right people. You're the people we're talking to. You're the people, stories we're telling. Help us create those. And so getting those people on board, I think, again, diversity of voice is really important. It's a lot more talked about now, and especially like literally in the last few weeks, some of the issues in our space, stemming from sort of the Me Too movement, and it's probably quite scary. Like I can imagine a lot of people kind of look at this space and going, I was really excited about getting into this space, but now I'm kind of freaked out. And we're here making it better, and you can be a part of that. And it goes again towards that, why am I kind of talking about this? Because if I'm not doing it, that means there's a gap there. And so if you're not joining us because you're worried about that culture, there's an opportunity missed to come and change it. So and that sounds like a heavy responsibility, but can be part of that change. We're luckier in New Zealand, but we still have a lot of work to do. But there's so much more opportunity here to grow it together, I suppose. I think safer spaces to be, I still think a lot of some of the natural networking that goes on in the space is still very one-sided or, and can be sometimes male-oriented. We get a lot of viewpoints from people that are also one-sided, and I think I'd just like to see more diversity in that, in the conversation itself as well as the people. In 5 years' time, I'd love that we didn't see announcements of female CEOs as it's a female CEO. It's like, it doesn't matter, And so I think there's still a bit of work to be done there. I think we're all just still a little bit surprised when that happens. And so I'd love to see that surprise go, and it's just a part of how we are.